Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give the RX8 a full service today, and I mean a real solid service. Engine oil, gearbox oil, diff oil, all the filters, plugs, coils, leads, everything. It's going to have a proper job done. What I'm also going to do is run a compression test. I know this frightens everyone, but I'm on the fence whether the compression's low or not, but I'll find out today. I don't have a proper Mazda or rotary compression tester, but you can do the test with a standard compression tester, and I'll show you how to do that. The car has just been running, so the engine should be nice and oil. So I'm just going to get the front end up, dump all the oil out and start there. So let's get straight into it.
Just so you're aware, this is the first time I've ever worked on a rotary engine, so I'm figuring it out as I go along.
Oil filter's not in a fun place.
Just priming the filter with some oil here, and I'm also going to rub some oil onto the gasket. Moving on to the plugs, and you can see we have 4 of them. Front rotor, leading and trailing. Rear rotor, leading and trailing.
So I've just been getting a look at the coils, and they're uprated ones, it seems, which I did notice when I went to purchase it. What I've just noticed now, can you see this at the top there? Come around this way, you can see that this second coil here is actually barely even plugged in. I love finding stuff like that. That's really great thing for power.
I'm removing the airbox here to make it easier to access all the coil packs.
And that's that plug on coil 2, half hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and get all these removed now.
The firing sequence from these coils is rotor 1 leading and trailing, rotor 2 leading and trailing.
Right, well, that's it all plugs out, and they do look like they've seen a fair bit of mileage, which isn't surprising because, believe it or not, this is actually the most expensive part of the service kit. I had to shop around to get the new plugs for about 90 quid. The auto factors I got everything else from wanted 130 quid for the 4, and I had to do some shopping online, but I got all 4 of them, the 2 leading and the 2 trailing plugs, for about 90 quid, which is a fair old amount, but these will only run on the laser iridium racing plugs. For anyone who doesn't know, they have 2 different sets of plugs. So on the leading, you have this one, and on the trailing, you have that plug. So 2 leading plugs, 2 trailing plugs, both of different spec, but they are all laser iridium racing plugs. So we're going to quickly go ahead and chuck all 4 of these in.
That's the coils, plugs and leads all swapped out. I'm getting it up to temperature now to get the thermostat open so I can get accurate reading on the fluid levels. Moving on to the gearbox, I'm going to drain out any old oil and fill it up with shockproof lightweight. Well, that's empty. You can see with the gearbox oil, I'm transferring it to the smaller container to make it easier to fill the gearbox. Same with the diff, drain out the old, fill up with new.
Okay, and now we're moving on to a compression test. Now remember, this is nowhere near as accurate as the Mazda or the rotary compression testers, but the reason I'm doing it is just to see how close to the end of the life this engine is. So I know roughly where the numbers should be. I know if they're below that number, the engine's pretty much done for. I'm looking for around 100-110 psi in total for each rotor, and I'm looking for around 85 to 90 psi per face of the rotor. I'm using a standard generic compression tester.
I've got the car up to operating temperature. I remove the lead-in plug and attach the compression tester. The highest reading we got on that front rotor was about 65 psi. I now do the same again, but with the one-way valve held down so you can see the compression to each side of the rotor. Looks like there's not even enough compression to get movement on the tester. The rear rotor is actually worse, with only about 55 psi of compression. And the same again when the one-way valve's open, not enough compression to move the needle.
So there it is, compression tested. And it's not a low compression engine, it's a no compression engine. I was so convinced that my compression tester was broke, I had to go turn the generator on and just run through some air in it to see if it was doing anything. And it seems to be working fine. But I really don't see how it could be that low. It's such a low compression. I wouldn't imagine the engine would run like that. But who knows? I probably will try and locate someone with the proper rotary compression tester just to have a look and find out. But hey, I was well aware this could be an issue, and it's not going to stop me from driving it around. If it dies early, it dies early. That's going to be enough anyway. If you fancy watching some more, just click up there and take your Rotor 500 series where I'm rebuilding the engine on my Skyline, and I'm probably going to be rebuilding this one as well soon. Or look up there and take the first episode I did in this where we took it out and smoked it around. It's quite a good fun episode. So hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.